Seekers, I am live with Mikey Bungholio, social justice water pipe here.
And we got a glizzy. You guys know what a glizzy is? There's a glizzy in the chambers.
I've never heard. All right, so let's go to the chambers now. We're off to see the chambers, the wonderful chambers of freedom. Hey, hello. All right, so this is where the meeting is being held. So welcome everybody. All right, welcome.
They call hot dogs glizzies nowadays. Just look around the room.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. Wow. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to set up shop here. Here's the meeting room. Welcome to Cranford, New Jersey. Please smash that like button there, L-I-K-E.
I say something on your YouTube channel?
Yep, in just a few minutes. We're just going live now. People are starting, gathering here.
Keep going on.
So,
Say something on your YouTube channel, please.
yeah, not yet, a few minutes. I just started it, so we don't have a lot of people on yet. So, there's a gentleman, he wants to talk about autism awareness. And it'll be just a few minutes, just getting situated here. And this is going to be an awesome meeting. So welcome everybody, welcome. I'm Leroy Truth, yours truly. I've got Will Philly here, very, very famous Cranford, New Jersey resident, and very creative speaker and expresser of his rights. And we also have Guard of State Accountability here. He came all the way from south of Wales. Are you the new prince? He's the new prince of England. Any words you want to say here?
I'm just setting up, so come back to me.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And we'll get back to you in just a minute. Take a tour around here. And this is like an old church from Little House on the Prairie. And these outfits are awesome. Oh, this is great. Wow. And it's like Little House on the Prairie. Looking for Pa, looking for Ma. Welcome everybody, thanks for joining us. Please smash that like button. Rami, hello. NZ Kiwi from New Zealand. Ion Margate, Brown Sugar, Tommy, David, Neil, AV. And this is going to be a great meeting. Hey, hello there. Can you inspire or tell us what the costumes, the inspiration for these incredible costumes are?
I typically wear this on a regular basis. It's a normal thing.
Oh, it's just normal. It's just your everyday.
Yeah, just to enjoy life a little bit more, you know? Yeah, for sure.
I think it's awesome and creative, and we love that.
And you have a great tie. I love the red on you.
Oh, thank you. It really pops, the red. Well, God bless you all. This is going to be a great meeting all about freedom of expression. Okay, God bless you. I'm Leroy Truth. Check me out on Facebook and YouTube. And what did you say, ma'am?
That's what we came here for, to support that message of continued expression.
God bless you. This is wonderful. Good to meet you all. All right, so here.
Let me say something in front of this.
Yep, here. I'll turn the camera around. And,
Okay.
all right, and introduce yourself and tell them what you want to say.
Let me see that. Let me turn the camera up, please. I can't see anything.
You want to see yourself?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTubers. My name is Ben. I want to introduce. I just want to introduce you because, as you guys know, autism awareness is coming. As you can see, I'm really excited to see. Hello, how you all doing? Hi. You guys, I'm ready for Autism Awareness next month, and right next to me is this guy.
He said he can lower the mic a bit.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And I'm ready. Hey, how you doing? Hello. So anyway, I'm ready for Autism Awareness, and I'm really excited to be ready for Autism Awareness and advocate for autism for that, and I can't even wait to do something to turn things around for autism. Does anybody have any questions? And I'm ready to see your comments sometime soon. Thank you very much, everybody.
Right, awesome, Ben. Thank you. All right. So Ben wanted to share about autism awareness, and he is a regular fixture around here, and he's autistic, and he is here making sure he attends the meetings, supports freedom in Cranford, New Jersey. And here we got King Charles there, Tommy. And the meeting starts 1 minute ago. And now, those of you who may remember, last meeting 2 weeks ago, I was playing the Star Spangled Banner during my public speaking time, and the mayor ordered the police to stop me from playing the Star Spangled Banner. And yes, B. Harrison, I did just talk to the hot dog a few minutes ago. And Mayor Kathleen Miller Ethel Edna Prunty, she ordered the police to stop me from playing the Star Spangled Banner. She called it noise. The two police officers, from what I understand, who totally complied with her, were supposedly anomalies. The chief of police and Lieutenant O'Brien came out to actually see us and talk with us before the meeting. They assured nothing like that would happen again. And they seemed awesome. But all I've heard about the Cranford, New Jersey police is that they're amazing. And when I say amazing, that they protect and support our constitutional rights. And we'll see. The proof is in the pudding. I believe they will do what they said. And again, they seem awesome. They understand the Constitution. They understand the importance of doing that part of their job as fundamental to their jobs as police officers in New Jersey. So tune, we got lots of speakers here. We got Mikey going to be speaking really cool stuff. We got Garden State Accountability here. We also have Will Philly, who's going to lead another sing-along. And then we have a fancy camera. Look at that fancy camera there. Fancy Nancy camera over there. And one thing, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm gonna ask there. Commissioner Andrews, I got a question. No. This is important to the meeting. I'm asking you to turn up the loudspeaker because no one can hear you because the loudspeaker isn't working. And so who has to actually turn up the loudspeaker? You said okay. Are you interested in the people hearing what you have to say, sir? And you were saying like no comment.
He wouldn't answer me when I asked him how his day was.
Yeah.
At least he answered you.
Well, how was your day, Commissioner Bryan? Look, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Or Attorney Slattery, how was your day?
It was fine. You guys let me finish prep?
Well, what we want to do, this is even more important prep. We need the speakers turned up. This is my job too. The people cannot hear anything going on in the meeting.
We have folks who are in charge of the sound system. It's not me.
So can you tell me, you're an attorney, can you tell me who is in charge of the sound system?
We have TV 35. I'll see if I can get a hold of someone.
I appreciate that, thank you. Right. Now that's helpful. That wasn't easy, but that's helpful. There's someone in a mask. The mayor's in a mask, the masked mayor. Hey, hello there.
Hi.
We have the masked mayor. Yeah, I requested last week they turn the volume up because the speakers were off. For all of the council people and the mayor, we could not hear them at all, and no one turned the speakers up last week. So the speakers are off, or so
They're
low.
definitely not off. I don't know if
Oh,
I don't know how.
well, they are off because I couldn't hear them last week. No, but they weren't on last week. We're not on. In other words, it goes to the TV channel, but it doesn't go to the loudspeakers here.
When that's on, there should be a light that's on, I think.
Right, well, the light's on, but it only goes to the TV channel. It doesn't activate the loudspeakers in the building. So no one can hear the whole time.
I'll have them speak to the TV 35 people.
Yeah, bingo. It's an easy fix. I'm a sound guy. I can also help. I just need to know where it is.
Yeah, the sound is horrible. No one can ever hear it.
No, because there was no amplification last week at all.
Yeah, they can't hear it.
So imagine how hard it is to get the amplification turned up. Imagine how hard it is to get a pothole fixed in Cranford. Man, craziness. Here, let's see what Mikey has to say.
So we got Dance Party Protest number 10, right? And this is hosted by Will Philly. This meeting belongs to the people, right? This room belongs to the people. So what we have here is Dance Party Protest number 10, and this is not just a protest. This is the vibe of the movement, a peaceful movement that demands change. Change from unsatisfactory elected representation across New Jersey, across the country, across the state. What we're seeing here in Cranford is what people are saying in the comment section throughout all these videos, saying that it's just like this in my town. You know, they think they're an HOA association and that they can create these rules to suppress your speech, you know, restrict your movement. They have a rule here where you can't leave the podium during your public comment. Can't leave the podium.
Is this a sign in to speak?
And
you know,
of course,
time,
government tries to suppress your speech and try to restrict your movement, and that's what we're dealing with here in Cranford. So we're about to get started in a minute.
Sign in now.
And we'll get to it.
Earth.
This is great. We got a packed house. We got a packed house, and we got somebody here dressed as a hot dog. So this is wonderful. So we're about to get started. The meeting's about to be called to order, and we got a packed house.
Yep, we got a packed house today. This is awesome. Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Please keep smashing that like button. Smash, 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 smash. We got 35 likes, 64 people in the room here. We have aliens attempting to make contact. You hear that? Nothing to do with us. Who are you with? Oh, okay. You know how to turn the. You said you know how to turn the speakers on so you can hear.
Yeah, so there has to be a balance between people hearing and also a reverb that goes on.
But there was no amplification last time at all, so none of my listeners could hear it.
so.
It was none, like zero. I'm a pro sound guy.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just bring it downstairs and try to.
See if you could pump it up.
We'll see, but right now we've got this problem.
Yeah.
Well, we got-
I think it's the aliens that say they don't want the council to lie anymore or to violate our rights. Yeah, the mayor's masked today. We have the masked mayor. Why is the mayor masked? Vinny, you have any idea?
I don't know. I have no idea. She's afraid of the COVID.
Or she's hiding her face.
She's hiding her face? Yeah, that could be.
I think she's
All right, we got 75 people in here. Smash that like button. We only got 45 likes. Let's go. Brandon Mitchell, what's up? AV Design, what's going on? How you doing?
All right, she's ready. Oh, she took her mask off. Good. Unless she has Ebola, then we don't want her to take the mask off. Okay, they're going to get started. This is like narrating at a golf game. And Tiger Woods is now doing a slice of the. He's got a 15 iron and a 74 iron and a putter all at the same time. Now it got very quiet. David, I don't know. Maybe that's true. Okay, the TV is online.
This is the official meeting of the Township Committee, March 24th, 2026. This meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by email in the annual scheduled meetings to the Westfield Leader, the Union County Local Source, the Star Ledger, and Tackle to Cranford, and by posting such annual meeting schedule on the bulletin board.
Can you hear her?
Mayor Militanti. Here. Deputy Mayor Gallo.
Here.
Commissioner Andrews.
Here.
Commissioner Curran.
Here.
Commissioner Black. Yes. Please stand for the invocation.
I really searched for something meaningful to share with you all tonight. Given some recent events, I found meaning in a quote from former FBI Director Robert Mueller, who said, "No one has ever been able to convince me that optimism is not preferable to pessimism." In In our current political climate, it may seem easier to tend toward pessimism, that things are not okay. I'm one person, but I wish to assure you that all moments in our lives come with ebbs and flows. We have highs, we have lows. Knowing there are more highs in our lives, knowing that if you're at a low point, things can only get better. I wish to share my optimism for all things in our lives, for the state of our country, the state of Cranford. We are an amazing town. We help each other, no matter what political party we may affiliate with, no matter what our backgrounds are, and no matter what our socioeconomic statuses are. I too live to be convinced that optimism is not preferable to pessimism. Take care and be well. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then they start the meeting and they ignore all those words. So thank you for joining, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Leroy Truth, Leroy Truth Investigations. Please subscribe to my channel now if you are not. Please share this video. Shout out to The Exposure Report with David Snow and Scalzo.
Was a systemic persecution and annihilation of 6 million Jews and millions of others, including Roma, Poles, people with physical disabilities, homosexuals, communists, socialists, and dissenting clergy by the Nazi regime and its collaborators between 1933 and 1945. Whereas we cherish the memory of those who perished and honor the resilience of those who survived and pay tribute to the courage of those who acted to shield others from darkness. Whereas bearing witness to the accounts of those who suffered and perished in the Holocaust is not only a duty to the past, but a commitment to the future, ensuring that lessons of history are never forgotten and such horrors are never repeated again against any group, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity, or identity. Whereas we, the people of Cranford,
Yeah, she's speaking not loud enough. Speakers are off.
darkest periods in our history, and remain vigilant against hatred, persecution, and tyranny.
Tyranny, that's what she does.
Cranford Interfaith Human Relations Committee, Cranford Public Schools, and St. Michael's School will host the 15th annual Cranford Community Holocaust Day of Remembrance, Wednesday, tomorrow night, March 25th at Hillside Avenue School. Whereas as a community,
Fortunately, public speaking is early in this meeting. You don't have to wait hours. Probably within 15, 20 minutes, usually public speaking time.
acts of injustice, bias, inequity, and hate. Now therefore, I, Kathleen Prunty,
Area that's funny. How did she get quieter? You're right.
do hereby honor the victims of the Holocaust and the survivors, as well as
Check.
the rescuers, the liberators, and further proclaim that we, the Cranford community, should strive to overcome hate, intolerance, indifference to education, remembrance, and action. And tomorrow evening, the 15th annual Holocaust Remembrance Day will be at Hillside Avenue School at 7 p.m. And I encourage people to go. It is possibly one of the most moving nights you'll be part of.
Hey, Mayor, someone, can you turn the speakers up? They're not on at all. No one can hear through here. They say they can't hear anything. The speakers are not on. Part of open laws, you have to have the speakers loud enough so we can hear you. And of course, they ignore the people because they hate us. They disdain us. The freedom, we the people. Started with Mayor Kathleen Prunty here.
Each of us sitting here has heard from residents, business owners, and people from other towns about the spectacle they see at our town meeting, caused primarily by people who don't live here. I can assure you that each of us would rather spend time in constructive discussion with our fellow residents.
Can you hear her at all?
But the First Amendment allows the public to speak at meetings even if someone doesn't live here.
She's talking about the First Amendment.
Many of you have described
Oh, she's being mean now.
Vulgar and embarrassing for our town, and outside agitators and opportunists using Cranford meetings for their own agenda.
She's spouting so many lies. It's crazy.
Could repeat here tonight. The worst. I've heard from residents who say they're afraid to come to township meetings.
She just said residents are afraid to come to the township meetings
Afraid to come to your own town.
because of her violating First Amendment rights.
Outside agitators have hijacked our meetings, your meetings. The Township Committee has had bylaws for years with a section specifically about decorum at meetings. You are probably unaware of that because of those rules, because there's never been a reason to invoke them. Even at meetings where people were
Here,
passionate.
I did a close-up. You can read her lips now.
With an issue. That changed when people brought loudspeakers and blasting music in council chambers and used props that interfered with everyone else's right to observe and hear a meeting.
This is very sad what she's saying.
Amended to include a section to address those issues. I will repeat, this is not a karaoke bar. This is not a comedy club. We are here to conduct official township business, and we take that seriously. Let me set the record straight. Cranford has not banned the national anthem. That's completely ridiculous. Nor did I describe the national anthem as noise.
She's lying.
These accusations were made simply to get clicks on social media.
Typical.
We have not banned cell phones unless they're being used as speakers and cause a disruption. We have not prevented anyone from speaking.
Stop you from playing the national anthem.
Coming to these meetings
Call it noise.
for years. Sometimes he spoke, sometimes he stood silently, sometimes he sat, but no one stopped him.
You're right, Douglas.
Restriction to free speech. Although it's rather ironic that some people come to the microphone to complain that we are infringing on their right to free speech while they're standing there, speaking, exercising the right to free speech. Carefully edited.
She worked on that one all night.
Of our meetings go out on YouTube. People from far and wide view. As a result, myself and my colleagues on the Township Committee have been subjected to some of the most vile, vulgar phone messages and emails. Our employees who answer telephone calls are subjected to this behavior. And some of the rhetoric borders on threat. So to those of you from other towns, wherever it is, who come to our meetings, you have as much right to speak as anyone else. But I suggest you take a look at our town and all it has to offer. That what it has to offer residents, businesses, and visitors before you start condemning us. Our residents are proud of our history, we're proud of our community.
She literally ordered the police to stop me from playing the national anthem and said it was noise, that it was a noisemaker, my melodica. And she literally lied about that right now.
Memorial Day parade where we honor those who have served our country. We may sometimes disagree, but when someone needs help, we don't ever hesitate to step up. We are proud.
You're right, B. Harrison.
And none of the YouTube videos and Facebook posts can change that. As an old
Vinny
saying goes,
did my
a
thumbnail.
rumor can be halfway around the world while the truth is putting its shoes on. Join me and other commissioners in defending the truth about our Cranford.
So the mayor stacked this meeting up with her people. Look at this guy. He's clapping on my ear like super loud. See if you can see him. He's clapping on my ear like extra loud. So that's why there's so many people here, because they stacked the meeting. And the guy's clapping in my ear. What an idiot.
Met him a couple years ago when he first joined the police force. One of the first folks I had the pleasure of being a part of the process with. I wish him well on his future endeavors. He's quite an impressive man. So I know he'll do well with whatever he sees fit next in his career.
the guy was clapping in my ear on purpose. Like, you couldn't see it. It was right next to my ear. It was painful. Obnoxiously clapping right in my ear.
This event brings together all things trucks, from fire, police, garbage trucks, dump trucks, and more. So keep an eye open at the Cranford Community Event and social media pages. More details on this great event. Cranford Police Department is still actively recruiting for PTC certified officers through April 1st.
Can you hear him at all?
CPD has received a strong response from candidates in recent weeks. So if you're interested in joining an amazing, resilient, and well-regarded police department, please get your application in by April 1st. With it being tax season, we've seen an uptick in potential phishing attempts as well as fraudulent summonses. Be mindful that government agencies will not send text messages regarding balances, collections, or violations. Never share any personal or financial data by text. In addition, be mindful regarding traffic or toll violations sent by a text message or letter. These may include phishing, a malicious QR code, or a phishing malicious web link. I'd also like to note that working in cybersecurity myself, I recently read regarding an exploit for iPhones. The operating system is iOS. There's an exploit called Dark Sword. All an attacker needs to do is craft a malicious site. All they have to do is visit it. And unfortunately, your device is compromised. Always keep your devices up to date with the latest versions. If something looks suspicious, look up a known valid email address, web address, or phone number, and contact that agency or company directly. And from the fire department, with a recent lithium-ion battery fire call, the fire department will remind residents of a few safety tips with regards to lithium-ion batteries. Purchase and use devices that are listed by a qualified testing laboratory, like UL. Only use batteries that are designed for the device.
Public speaking is just a few minutes. It's not very long in this meeting. They don't make everyone wait until the end.
Do not keep charging the device after it's fully charged. Keep batteries at room temperature when possible. Store these batteries away from anything that can catch fire. If you're hissing, popping, notice any smoke, or see the battery swelling, stop using it immediately and call 911. And as always, if residents have any questions, please contact the fire headquarters at 908-709-7360. Thank you.
She put her mask on again.
Just a couple.
Comments are only a few minutes away.
First, we had a very successful St. Patrick's Day parade, and that's really what Cranford is all about. We're only the second year that we've had this, and we've had organizations from the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, the JCs, the Elks, numerous different companies have supported us, and we had about 10,000 people show up on a chilly day in March to enjoy Cranford and all that it has to offer. So thank you to everybody, and thank you to all the township professionals to make sure that was a safe and enjoyable day. You'll see that there are several resolutions on as we continue to get Orange River Pool ready for this summer, so I encourage people to go out and join. During summer, we have programming as well as upgrades to facilities, so we hope you will join. It is a member-supported facility, and we need residents to join. The Shade Tree Commission met. We are going to cut back slightly on our tree planting goals for this year and focus more on tree maintenance. Make sure that the trees we have planted in the last 2 years, which are about 250, make sure that they survive. We are going to focus on removing dead trees around town and finding new spots to plant. And then finally, Cranford West is meeting later this week. The Cranford West Committee will be meeting to look at some ways to reinvigorate and renovate Cranford West. So we have some new blood there on that committee, younger guys who are going to be using it, and we look forward to that. And with that, I look forward to the rest of the meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the remarks at the top of the meeting, and thank you for so many members of our community for showing up tonight. It really means a lot.
We're in Cranford, New Jersey, at a public town meeting, and I wasn't going to come back, but the mayor ordered the police to stop me from playing the national anthem during my public comment time and said it was noise, and the police said it was noise. So we are here to continue to express our constitutional rights.
So they looked at a number of metrics for again, all the county roads. They looked at things like accident history, speed of usage, proximity to recreation areas. They did extensive public input. And when they ran all the numbers through, the findings of the Union County roads was that Kenilworth Boulevard was the second highest priority road in all of Union County. And I think, for folks who live up here, that it's probably not too much of a surprise. So it's 4-lane road. We see traffic go fairly fast. Here it goes across several towns. So it goes Union, Kenilworth, and us here at Cranford. And specifically for Cranford, it is between two popular and low-use parks, Lenape and Novi. All right, I'm going to take the first one down. Hold the second minute. So there are a number of efforts underway to improve the roads in that area. First, Union County is trying to specifically get at safety improvements in the entrance to Lenape. So right now, it is a 4-lane crossing using one of those rapid flashing beacons. Generally, that's not very good for 4 lanes. You see that often comes a lot of cars aren't necessarily stopping. So Union County is trying to put in a better traffic monitor specifically there at that site. Congresswoman McIver has been very supportive of this project. She's been fighting for funding for it. She was able to secure $850,000 in the most recent budget for it. That's about 3/4 of the way there to get this piece in, and we're looking for the funding, talking to Union County about how to get it done. The second piece, and something that the full Township Committee is supportive of, is looking at a more comprehensive approach to Kenilworth Boulevard, and specifically putting it on a road diet. And if you're like me, you probably, until a short time ago, you have no idea what a road diet is. But basically, this is approved by the U.S. Department of Transportation, and the proposal is to move it from 4 lanes, 2 eastbound, 2 westbound, to 1 eastbound, 1 westbound, 1 middle turning lane, and then some big, beautiful shoulders on the side to put bike lanes in. This is approved by the U.S. Department of Transportation. It has been used elsewhere, and this really gets at the dangerous aspects of that road. So first and foremost, this gets in crashes. There have been a number of accidents there, and part of the challenge is you're going pretty fast in the leftmost lane, and then you're going to make a turn either into Lenape or somewhere else, and then someone comes up and slams you from behind, right? So this gets the turning lane in there, so it's safer to make the left turns off the road. Additionally, it is traffic calming, so cars will naturally go slower. It'll make it easier for pedestrians to cross, or no, maybe you're going to Lenape because you're only going across 3 lanes instead of the 4 lanes. And of course, you're going to have bike lanes right there by the parks, making it safer for cyclists. This is win-win-win. We agreed before this meeting tonight that we will unanimously go to Union County, encouraging them to do a study and to look to make this improvement in. I've already had some very preliminary discussions with Union County. They're interested in this concept, want to know more. Obviously, there would be a traffic count. We would make sure it makes sense. But I'm hopeful to see it move forward. Don, you can take it down. I'll do just a second update very briefly. The Gateway Development Commission Board met yesterday. This is the body that's responsible for the comprehensive gateway project, including the Hudson Tunnel project. They reported at the commission meeting that the federal funding is flowing again after several court wins, and all the work has resumed at the site. And right now, one of the boring machines that's going to be digging the tunnels is being constructed, and the other one will be shipped very shortly over from Europe. This is very important for Cranford because the reason we do not have rush hour direct train service anymore is tunnel capacity. We need more tunnel capacity to fit more trains so that we can get direct service. This is the way you increase that capacity. But also, it's also important because these tunnels are over 100 years old. Storm Sandy did a tremendous amount of damage.
Stay tuned. This public speaking begins only probably about 10 minutes or so. 10 to 15 minutes.
Shut down the current ones, refurbish them, and then get them all up and running again to help Cranford commuters and other commuters on the Raritan Line. So I'm glad the work started again. We will stay on top of it here in Cranford because we know this is very much impacts our residents. That's it for me. Thanks very much.
Yes, right, Peter. Gina Black, Commissioner.
The budget, both the operating budget as well as the capital budget at the next meeting, April 7th. Introduction will happen April 7th, and then will be adopted
continue, but we will have more details between now and then on the details of the budget. But basically, our capital budget is pretty close to done. We've had a lot further discussion there. The goal there is always to keep that debt level or reduced year over year. And we're doing a pretty good job. We have about over $8 million of capital improvements planned, but the township will only be contributing less than $3 million to that. So that's thanks to a lot of grant opportunities that we're taking advantage of. So more to come in ensuing weeks. So I will have that for you next.
Professional comments, Ms. Donnie? Thank you, Mayor. Just want to wish congratulations to Karen Denman on the new milestone in his career. And good luck to Officer Mason and Evan Hooper. It was a real pleasure working with you. Thank you.
No comments from me this evening, thank you.
Madam?
Yes, I'd like to take a moment to comment on our DNC director's resignation and her transition to a part-time event coordinator role. Karen Damian has done an outstanding job over the past 5 years.
Yes, it's barely audible on purpose. And we're almost at the public speaking. They're doing the commissioner reports, then there's something called professional comments, which are probably anything but professional, and then public comment. So we're probably only 5 minutes, 10 minutes at most from public speaking. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Stay with us. I know it's kind of boring here. Since you can't hear,
What this does is give us authority in order for us to try to go out for a lower supply rate, which is, very helpful because, as we all know, things are climbing, and so we joined this auction and we're hoping that we get the lower rate, and we will update in the future as it becomes updated.
Thank you. Pursuant to the code of the township. Oh, thank you. Pursuant to the code of the township of Cranford, Article 172-4.
right, the speakers are off. The amplification system is off. This is ridiculous.
Stephen Dunn, Cranford, New Jersey. I just want to start by saying thank you to all of you for your service to the community. It is a service, and you take a lot of abuse up there. The last meeting I was here, I learned that this is a lectern, not a podium, and that is the podium. I learned something new each time. So first, just a couple things. Budget, capital budget, there's a bike path that goes from Centennial Ave out to Myrtle Street that is dilapidated, and I use it frequently with my children, and I know it might be late in the budget process, but I hope we might be able to look at that and think about that, and possibly a crosswalk across Myrtle Street, because that connects to the parks, the Centennial Ave place there. And then also I just want to stress my strong and enthusiastic support for the possibility of road diet on the boulevard. I have been singing from the mountaintops for probably about the past 5 years about the boulevard, taking all the way up to the state, to the county, and everyone, and I'm really happy to see that the board is behind that. And I just want to share a quick story with the commission board here and everyone in the public. I had the distinct honor of coaching 6th grade PAL basketball this year. It was the first year that PAL supported a second team, so we were the B team on the 6th grade level. And between December and February, we had 33 games and 25 practices. So as you can imagine, I was pretty busy. I was there most of them. I want to give a shout out to my son, Lewis. We had a tough start to the season. We started off the season 1-18, but we finished strong 7-6. And I think we would have won the card tournament if there wasn't snow that canceled it. So I was here in February, and I actually left the practice 30 minutes early to be here because there were bike lanes on the agenda, and I care about Cranford, I care about bike lanes, I care about pedestrian safety. And I took time out of my day and made an effort to be here. It was a priority. And I've taken time out of the day as a priority to be here, and honestly, it just feels like a giant waste of time. So I'm going to make a direct plea to Mr. Thilly. I know you care about Cranford deeply. I see you sitting out here, and I think your message resonates. Hey, builders, should pay their taxes. We pay our tax on you. But I think you've lost that message. I think I was here last time, and literally 5 other people came up to me. 5 people came up to me and said, 5 people came up to me and said that they saw me at the meeting, and not here on the video, but on his social media. So it really is a discouraging thing for Cranford residents to be here, and I think it's just attracted a lot of things that we don't need. People want to come here and talk about bike lanes. You guys, I told you guys we shouldn't have closed the pool. I'm just going to say, I wish we could open the pool again, but we have things that are not being discussed because we have spectacle and theater here, and it's just not the place to be. This guy's standing right in front of me pointing the camera at me, I'm going to leave here. I'm not going to sit here and sing the YMCA after this because it's a giant waste of my time. My friend Rich DePaulo is playing at the Thirsty Turtle after this. This is one of the only Tuesdays that I have available between work and basketball, and I've chosen to take a priority to be here and express my support for Cranford as a town. But I'm not going to sit here and listen to the YMCA. I'm not going to listen to you guys say I'm out of order because it's a waste of time. You're wasting everyone's time. This is not about the First Amendment anymore. This is not about anything but disrespect for people's time. So please take that consideration. Thank you for your service.
It's a room full of communists. It is a room full of communists and fascists. The mayor had all these people go here.
I'm Kent Lucas, 17 Beach Street. Like Steve, I have places to be tonight. I'm at the First Aid Squad every Tuesday, so I'm not able to make many of your meetings, but I came over here because I have a crew there that can cover for me. So I do want to say I was surprised to hear about the road diet on Kenilworth Boulevard. Very pleasantly surprised. When I first joined the Pedestrian Safety Committee more than 10 years ago, I asked Captain Davenport, I don't know if he was lieutenant or captain at the time, what the single street that had the most speeding on it was, and it was Kenilworth Boulevard. And it's because of the design. It's designed like a highway, so it's extremely wide, and people, even if I try to drive 25 there, for me, somebody who's very conscious about trying to drive the speed limit, it's very difficult. So, and people are going 45 and 50 miles an hour there. It's totally because of the design. And it's very dangerous I crossed there for many, many years on my bicycle, commuting to Bed Bath & Beyond in Union, and it's extremely dangerous crossing that road. And so I'm very much in favor of the design of 2 lanes and a center turn lane. That would be a great improvement. So as Steve said, I appreciate all of your service. I don't know what these guys are trying to prove here. It's a waste of everybody's time. Wish you'd stop it. Thank you.
They hate the First Amendment. What do we have going on here now, ladies and gentlemen? Looks like First Amendment expression. Yeah, Arthur, that was all staged.
Hello, everyone. Again. I'm one of the people, I just came here to be part of the YMCA, to be a part of the village people I love so much, but Mayor Kathleen made a comment that I just felt my intrusive thoughts just have to win. I have to respond. You're talking about outside people coming into your community and stuff. Where I'm from, outside people from your neighborhood come to my community, underneath my bridges, collecting tolls to feed my local drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could sit and have a conversation and talk about how we don't want those outside people in our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
great point.
What I came here to do was to talk about my good friend, Gilman Chowdhury. Hold on.
She understands freedom. It says elect Gilman Chaudhry for council at large.
Yes, 16B, please vote for my good friend, Gilman Chowdhury. Yes, I'm gonna use Cranford resources to vote. There you go. And please, give me some money for my nonprofit. I do wanna open up a homeless shelter for women and children, so please, Baba's House, send me some money.
Yeah, God bless her. Yeah, I'm talking to me.
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Lafargue, and I'm the president of the Cranford Education Association. I've been an employee of Cranford Public Schools since 2014. During my time in Cranford, I've realized how fortunate I am to be a public school teacher in a town that consistently supports and values public education. From well-attended back-to-school nights in the fall to heartfelt gestures during Teacher Appreciation Week in the spring, I know the families and parents in Cranford want a stable, appropriately funded school system that provides a quality educational experience for their children. In order to maintain the standard of educational excellence to which Cranford families have become accustomed, it is essential for this Township Committee to extend the Birchwood pilot and provide the same level of funding to Cranford Public Schools that you have provided for the past 5 years. This funding will enable the district to maintain staffing levels and continue necessary educational programs. Without this funding, programs will be cut, valued staff members could lose their jobs, and Cranford students would suffer as a result. Thank you for addressing this serious issue. I am confident this committee will do the right thing by extending the Birchwood pilot and continuing to provide necessary funding for our schools. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm James Brady, and I'm a resident of Cranford. And I'm stepping up to the microphone today because I'm deeply frustrated with what the township meetings have become. For months now, our local government proceedings have been commandeered. What started as a local residents' opposition has devolved into a circus, hijacked by a traveling troupe of out-of-town agitators and self-proclaimed First Amendment auditors. Many of these individuals don't even live in Cranford. They're not here to participate in our democratic process. They are here for selfish purposes, seeking online notoriety by live streaming themselves, singing, dancing, and hurling derisive and untrue insults at Cranford's public servants. They are here, again, for selfish reasons. When this body rightly attempts to maintain order by asking a name and an address or by prohibiting non-constructive disruptions, these agitators loudly claim that their First Amendment rights and the Open Public Meeting Act are being violated. They are wrong. Their claims are entirely divorced from reality. As someone who is intimately familiar with that law, I can tell you that OPMA is designed to ensure the right of citizens to, quote, witness in full detail all phases of the deliberation, policy formulation, and decision-making of public bodies, unquote. It is meant to protect the democratic process, not provide a stage for out-of-town performance artists. The statute explicitly states that the act in no way limits, quote, the discretion of the public body to permit, prohibit, or regulate the active participation of the public at any meeting, unquote. Asking a speaker to identify themselves, requiring them to stay at the lectern, and prohibiting musical devices and abusive outbursts are completely lawful. Reasonable time, place, and manner regulation. We cannot allow for them to make a mockery of Cranford any longer. I propose that the committee immediately adopt a new set of formal rules for the public comment portion of the meetings, modeling the approach taken by other municipalities that strictly enforce the decorum of time limits to prevent such chaos. Specifically, I propose the following. Mandatory sign-up. Anyone wishing to speak must sign up at the beginning of the meeting. Speakers must provide their name and their home address on the sign-in sheet. Individuals who write down a verified Cranford address with a name they can be called first. Only if there's additional time remaining in the public comment period will non-Cranford residents be permitted to speak. Furthermore, their comments must be strictly limited to Cranford Township issues. rather than generalized grandstanding. The public policy of this state is to promote citizen participation in public affairs and to build faith in government. It is not to surrender our municipal business to out-of-town agitators looking for clicks on the internet. Commissioners, you have the statutory discretion to regulate public participation, and I urge you to exercise that discretion and adopt the sign-up rule and take our town meetings back for the people of Cranford. Thank you.
Another plant. The mayor had all these people, all these plants here. Well, obnoxiously claps.
I apologize.
Mine is big.
No, I want to, before we start my comment, I wanted to speak now, but if you could pause it. I'm trying to, one of our props, a beloved friend who I respect very much, who is seated on one of my props that has our sign. And I wanted to know if you could ask if they could stand up from my prop so that I can move it forward. Some individuals in the back of the meeting are sitting on my prop and not allowing me to bring it to the front. If we could stop my public comment. Do you understand? Okay, and so some people are. Yeah. I want to address the concerns that people have been talking about, so I will address that.
Can we, not use Mr. Kelly's prop proceedings?
They're the ones that have devolved this into the circus, the mayor and the council people. Commissioners. Now this is Will Thilly, who went viral with his breakdancing, and they made all these, the mayor and the commissioners made all these laws saying you can't use props, you can't use music, like in a loudspeaker, and no noisemakers and so forth. Made all these new laws and rules. And he's going to be singing YMCA. He's going to lead everyone to YMCA.
Where am I here?
Bring this up higher.
So,
okay, this is Will Thilly. He's going to lead a sing-along in YMCA. His freedom of expression.
I really do have concerns for the people that do not see the way I'm ultimately trying to bring people together as productive. And I have heard and listened to people who are concerned and feel that what I'm doing is a waste of time. And I care. Whether I know I'm maybe misunderstood my motive or how I'm going about doing things.
You're supposed to be addressing the township committee, not the audience.
I apologize. I really want the town to know how I'm feeling. My apologies. And I do respect everyone on our committee, and I care. And I've been trying for years to get message about things that are happening out. And my ultimate motive where this is going is really to ultimately bring people together. And I understand it's a very different way of doing things, but and I'll take the heat because I believe in endless will.
Please address the township committee and not the audience.
I apologize. Mayor Prince, I apologize. Thank you. So, I'm not, I don't.
Address the committee, not the.
The committee ignores them. The mayor, when he turns around, they ignore him. Now they're complaining because he's addressing the audience.
When you're short on your dough, I said, young man.
many ways to have a good time. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Excuse me, Madam Chair. That guy's trying to talk now. She was singing. She was singing.
If you don't stop, the meeting is at recess. Please, if you
She was singing.
stay in here, you have to leave.
She was singing.
Everybody out. She's allowed to sing. We're allowed to sing.
Yeah, she was just singing.
We're allowed to stand up and sing. You have the right to be up there and be at the podium.
She was just singing. She wasn't speaking. The officer was saying she's not allowed to speak.
That is the meeting to. Everyone can sing.
She was singing.
Meeting is at recess. Nothing is being filmed at this point. Recess.
Oh, look at this. They put it in recess. This is, what a joke. You were all so pathetic. Kathleen Prunty, all of you, terrible. The meeting's in recess. The meeting's in recess. The meeting's in recess. The meeting's in recess. They could play music. Do you have a comment, ma'am? Is the meeting back on? Because the music can be playing, but it was in recess. No, time was suspended. Right. The time was paused, Mayor. The time was paused. Great dancing you did.
Thank you.
Amazing.
You should see what I do in the bedroom.
If you heard that. I said, great dancing. She says, you should see what she does in the bedroom, she said. All right, so he still has 1 minute and 49 seconds left.
Let me help you here.
Where'd Will Philly go?
Thanks.
Here. If the meeting's not on, he could play the music.
What?
The meeting's in recess, Mayor. He could play the music. The meeting's in recess. Attorney, you know that. The meeting is in recess, so the music can be played. And as soon as the music stops, I know he's going to turn the music off. Has he been told to leave? Why? Why has he been told to leave the meeting? Why can't he play the music during the break, officer or sergeant? Why can't he play the music during the break? There's no law that says he can't play that during the break.
You can't stop my time and someone else. No, that's not me.
You get your time back.
I get my time.
Right, he hasn't. You have 1 minute and 49 seconds left.
Bill Montani, 115 Thomas Street.
They took away Will Philly's time.
Primarily, I'm here to address the TV 35 audience. Regarding the outside agitators at our town halls, Mayor Prunty is 100% spot on correct when she said this is not about politics. There's no Democrats, there's no Republicans involved here. This is about we the people reclaiming our town meetings from those who methodically mock and tear down our town meetings. We do that by getting off our duffs in our couches at home and showing up at these town hall meetings in great numbers. Why? Their shallow schoolyard antics will not stand up to that. Who are they exactly? History buffs and armchair philosophers, they might call them nihilists. I kind of like that term, especially those who study Russian history, or anarchist, maybe even iconoclast.
You just call us anarchists.
More genteel among us might say interlopers, but that's way too polite. No, it's very simple, much unlike our federal income taxes. I see them as common, run-of-the-mill thieves. I say thieves because they literally seek to steal or suppress our right to listen to our township officials who we, the people, took the time and the effort to elect. Let me repeat, let me repeat to the people at home, they are stealing our rights, your rights. We may not agree with everything that those commissioners on the dais do or say, and that's okay. But let us not forget for a single second, they are sacrificing a small part of every facet of their personal lives to keep this town moving forward, and it has moved forward in an impressive way. It is not easy being up there. Try it sometime.
Another plant is all plants that are very entertaining because they're very predictable.
Hi, my name is Angela Sandukas.
We're in Cranford,
I am
New
a
Jersey.
lifelong resident of
Town Hall.
Cranford. I am also a Cranford teacher, and I'm also the co-vice president of the Cranford Education Association. I am here tonight to call attention to the ordinance that extends the pilot program that helps fund our schools. After speaking with the Board of Education, it's my understanding that this council plans to eventually pass this ordinance, and I would like to thank you for recognizing how important this is for our schools and for our community. Right now, the Cranford School District is facing some serious financial situations, largely due to rising healthcare costs and expenses outside of the district's control. I would like to recognize the Board of Education and Mr. Carfagno for their work in creating a responsible budget for us during this difficult financial time. But even with that work, the Cranford School District is already having to consider teacher relocations, program reductions, and tax increases. I know this pilot extension won't fix the problem, but it is an important step in helping keep Cranford schools strong and stable. Supporting the schools is supporting Cranford, so I thank you for your time and consideration in supporting our schools. Thanks.
Good evening. I'm Shirley Gazy, in Cranford resident since 1973. Seen a lot of changes in Cranford. Two things I want to just mention. Cranford has always been a town that is inclusive and has been a wonderful place for me to own a home. I just want to give a shout out to, I actually called DPW the other day. I want to give a shout out to what a wonderful job they did, and thanks to all of you as well. On my street, it's beautiful, it's repaved, it has curbs. I haven't had curbs since 1978.
You could be
Do you
right,
know what
Aria.
that means? Anyway, I have curbs, I'm thrilled. It looks wonderful, and the people who did the jobs, the crew that came to my house, wonderful guys. In fact, not that I interfere with their work, but when they had a break or lunch, I'd chat them up and all. Do you know how many countries they came from? It was amazing. And they were hardworking, and they were thrilled to talk to me about the different countries they came from. And my grandparents came from Hungary, so I joined in, even if it's the other side of the world. It was wonderful, and I really want the Township Committee to know what a great job was done at DPW and how much I value you people. Thank you so much. And then, number two, giving a real shout out to the teachers. I'm part of a committee that goes to the high school a few times a year, and it's an intergenerational committee. And I was just there yesterday, and we were talking about, it was a book club, we were talking about the anxious generation. Jonathan Haidt, who's a social scientist, has done longitudinal studies across generations and across countries as to what social media is doing to our kids. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. This is the Gen Z, it's the first generation that has gone down in comprehension, in critical thinking, in attention span. So we had a wonderful conversation with the kids, the high schoolers. And I was asking a lot of questions, we were talking. Those kids are smart. Do you know what they're talking about, social media? Social media, when you see things all over like this, they said these are for people who are wannabes. They're not people who are telling you the truth. And you have to discern what is the truth by going to other legitimate sources. They know that these influencers are not people they pay attention to. And we were talking about how this happens, and you know how it happens? First of all, you need strong school system and good teachers, and I commend our teachers who stood up. It's a hard, hard job. But also, it takes a strong family and what Jonathan Haidt calls playtime, anything away from electronics. And he also says, variation of it takes a village. And I'm going to thank Cranford for everything they do for us. Thank you for my new street. And thank you for the next generation, because you're contributing directly to that. And I really value all of you. Thank you so much.
Next up is Finney, Garden State Accountability. Please smash that
What's going
like
on?
button.
My name's Garden State Accountability. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Terrence Laughs. You can email me at alertgsanow@gmail.com if you have any corruption going on in your town. We're going to find out when you graduated law school. You look a little young there, bud. So I came out here in support of the First Amendment, right? So people have the right to freedom of expression. When it's their time to speak, let them speak. If they want to dance, if they want to sing, it's their time. Let them do as they please. If you would have just done that, we wouldn't have been here. Now, there's an issue that I take with giving your name and address at a council meeting, because, I can come to a council meeting, not like what you have to say, and then retaliate against you by maybe sending pizzas to your house, maybe slashing your tires, maybe I smash your window. You know what I mean? So I put my name here as Garden State Accountability, and I live here on Earth. That's my address. I did sign up to speak, but I'm just trying to address what that gentleman said in green. Didn't like what he had to say, because you guys are just trying to trample on the First Amendment. I found it appalling that during Leroy's time, when he spoke, at the end, when he wanted to play the Star-Spangled Banner, you cut his speaking time and you had him removed. When you guys have a rule in place that says you get 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, and then you call a recess. But you didn't do that there in that situation. I'm wondering why. Wondering why. You want us not to be here? You want out-of-towners not to be here? Well, stop screwing up. Stop fucking up. It's crazy. When it's the people's time to speak, let them speak. Maybe ask yourselves why we're here. Is it for the clicks and the views? You think we're here for money? How much money do you think I make? I have a full-time job. I mean, come on. I drove 2 hours to get here. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? And the 14th Amendment grants us the right to speak here at these meetings, whether I live here or not. And if you were to put a rule in place that says residents speak first, that would be a violation of the 14th Amendment. That is the same amendment that disbarred slavery. You can't, it's like saying having a sign that says no blacks allowed. It's the same thing. So I'm gonna play a song.
They're looking all over the place. Oh, she's banging the gavel. She's calling the cops now.
This is called freedom of expression. This is part of my First Amendment right. It could be louder. I'm being respectful. We got one gavel, that's it, that's all we got. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, so now it's working. I'm glad it worked this time. You see how that was? The rules that are supposed to be in place? 1 strike, 2 strikes, then 3 strikes are out. Why didn't you do that to this man here? Why? And you know what? We're going to challenge that rule, that ordinance that you have, whatever it is. We're going to challenge it. Just know that the lawsuits are coming, okay? Freedom of expression is part of my First Amendment right.
Good
She
evening.
spoke to me.
Good evening. My name's Pat Vogler. I live at 710 Willow Street. There are a lot of substantive local issues I'd rather be discussing tonight, like our municipal tree planting or stormwater management or promoting bicycle and pedestrian safety. But unfortunately, instead, I'm here to speak about the deterioration of civil discourse that we've witnessed over the past months by both resident and non-resident members of the public during the public comment portion of our Township Committee meetings. Over the past months, watching these meetings on TV 35 has become more and more disturbing. I'm a retired attorney and a card-carrying member of the ACLU. I revere the Constitution and the First Amendment right to free speech.
She's got the wrong job.
However, I also know that free speech, like all of our rights, can be subject to reasonable limits under certain circumstances.
ACLU, she needs to be fired immediately.
The very nature of public meetings such as this is one that invokes the right of the public to attend and participate. However, it's also well-settled law that public governmental meetings, like ours, are considered to be what's called a limited public forum. And as such, the government may lawfully impose content-neutral time, place, and manner restrictions on speech, as long as those restrictions are narrowly tailored to serve a significant government interest. Indeed, the First Amendment does not guarantee the right to communicate one's views at all times or in any manner that may be desired. For instance, in the case of Tyler versus the City of Kingston, which was a recent 2023 case out of the Federal Second Circuit Court of Appeals, the city prohibited large signs and posters in a public meeting held within the City Hall. The court ruled that it was reasonable for the city to assert its common sense interest in prohibiting these signs in order to run an efficient and orderly meeting. The court noted that while the signs did relate to an agenda topic, this type of speech still could undermine the purpose for which the forum was created, that being meaningful discourse on matters on the legislative agenda. So clearly, local governments can lawfully regulate speech in a limited public forum such as this, so long as the regulations are reasonable, narrowly tailored, and viewpoint neutral. Similarly, courts have repeatedly upheld time restrictions such as our 5-minute rule, and the ACLU recognizes that town officials such as yourselves are not required to respond to all public comments during meetings. I'd also like to point out that federal and state courts have upheld prohibitions on non-resident speech.
Wouldn't recommend it, but it's kind of a fun fact. Although large trees are harder to site, they require wide tree lands to grow well, and we don't plant large trees under the main utility wires. They are important for several reasons. Most importantly, eventually, they'll provide the shade that we need to make Cranford more comfortable in the summer. Though, of course, the new trees are small and that will take time. And also, large trees soak up large amounts of water, which is important for runoff and flood mitigation. We're anxious to plant as many trees as resources allow because in recent years, we've lost 3 times as many trees as have been planted. Between 2010 and 2019, we lost 1,672 trees in public spaces, while only 554 have been replanted. So it's 3 times. And that doesn't even include trees lost on private property. So we have a lot of catching up to do. I want to say we appreciate the support of the Cranford community in this ongoing work. We have just one dedicated township employee, Shade Tree Commissioner Eric Hastrup. So we depend mostly on volunteers. But I think I can speak for all the members of the Shade Tree Commission when I say that we're grateful for the ongoing support of the Township Committee, Township Administrator, in this mission to make Cranford a greener, healthier, and more beautiful place to live. Thank you very much.
Jim Carvalho, Cranford. Swanning to a Swan Song. I first encountered Kathleen Prunty at the height of the COVID con. You remember COVID. While the madman Murphy was doing his best to murder Grandma, Murphy's bosses were doing their best to retard Grandma's grandkids. And while the governor was killing seniors and the union was stunting students, that same governor broke his own rules. While that was going on, I would frequently see the Mad Madam Prunty swanning through my neighborhood, glad-handing and gloating like one of the glitterati, expecting her neighbors and strangers to act like paparazzi. Of course, by doing that swanning, Prunty broke her own rules. And by so often breaking her own rules, Prunty opened my eyes to the meaning of the COVID con. Not much later, I visited this building to deliver documents. Upon entering the ground floor, I donned my mandated mask. Once inside this building, though, I saw that I was a sap. That's because inside this building, no one was wearing a mask. In the hallway, on my short walk from the door to the office, I passed 6 cops and 1 health department official. I passed each of them within 2 feet, but I was the only one wearing a mask. On my short walk from the office to the door, I passed 4 more cops and the director of emergency management. I passed each of them within 2 feet, but I was the only one wearing a mask. When I then passed a township commissioner who was also not wearing a mask, I knew it was a con, so I removed mine. After seeing that disregard for the rules imposed on me, I decided on the same occasion to visit the 2nd floor without wearing a mask. At the entrance to the administrator's office, I stopped at the closed Dutch door. In a far corner of the room sat 2 township employees in close proximity and deep in conversation. When they refused to acknowledge my presence, I spoke. Before I could finish my first sentence, one employee told the other that I was not wearing a mask. The other employee then asked me to don my mask. After what I had just seen downstairs, her request was utterly absurd. And compounding that absurdity were these facts. The 2 employees were a full 20 feet away. There was no one else in my vicinity. The employees were seated only 1 foot apart, and one of them, the one who ratted me out, was herself not wearing a mask. After watching Prunty break the rules outside this building and her fellow officials break the rules inside this building, I knew the people of Cranford were all being played for saps. But as if that weren't enough, I then encountered the epitome of machine entitlement and hypocrisy. And like everything else, it involved the corrupt Kathleen Prunty. At the heart of the COVID con, with schools closed, ceremonies canceled, and parties banned on private property, I witnessed and confronted a damning indictment of the COVID con and the proof that we, the people of Cranford and New Jersey, were all being played for saps. One afternoon, walking in my backyard, I heard something I had not heard since the start of the COVID con: live music. From my porch, I could see the source: a party at the Canoe Club. Parties were banned on private property, so why was this one happening on township property? Inviting myself to the party, I walked across the street. Upon arrival, I saw the Canoe Club packed with unmasked guys, swilling beer shoulder to shoulder, enjoying the live music. The first person I encountered was, like the others, unmasked and holding a beer. That person offered me a beer. That person was the mayor, Patrick Giblin. Since I knew that neither the event nor its alcohol had been authorized by the township, I asked the mayor how his party was possible on township property when no one else could do the same on their own private property. Giblin's response? He ran away. He then promptly called a member of my family to bitch and moan about my question. The next day, I visited the canoe club to secure a party date for myself. The guy who runs the club told me parties were banned. When I asked him about the night before, he explained that the commissioner was there. That commissioner was the mayor. At the same time Giblin held his beer bash on township property, Giblin's father was a high-ranking member of the assembly, and Giblin's sister was a high-ranking official inside the governor's office. Giblin himself was rumored to have ambitions for higher office, but after I raked him over the coals, he chose not to pursue those dreams. I say, good riddance. On that afternoon that ended Giblin's career, I witnessed one last nail in the coffin of the COVID con. While Giblin was living it up, I saw his deputy doing what she does best, swanning past the canoe club, the party in full swing. Like the hapless Patrick Giblin, let's hope the Mad Madam Prunty can swan a little faster to her political swan song.
Wow.
Rita Labruto, 104 Arlington Road. On March 12th, I put an Oprah in for the grant agreement for the $750,000 grant for the Cranford pools. On March 20th at 4 p.m., 7-day deadline, I received a response that the township does not have information responsive to your request, an executed grant agreement. Your resolution says that you have to have an executed grant agreement in order to spend this money for the pools. So I put an Oprah in with the state, and I put this request in at March 23rd at 3:22 and received the grant document at 3:47. Accepted and agreed by Mayor Curran, Commissioner Curran, Dr. Curran. The grant states that the scope for the $750,000 grant is regrading the site, upgrades to existing drainage, and improving locker rooms and bathrooms to ensure ADA compliance. The ADA and drainage really bolstered the need for the grant. In fact, who could argue with that if you were at the state and saw that in a grant, especially with a town like Cranford that floods, and who's going to argue with ADA, right? But you're not doing the ADA and you're not doing the drainage. ADA was not critical in your decision to make Centennial the pool for this season, but you sure used it to secure your grant. Do we really need to spend $535,000 on a paved parking lot with islands, trees, and no drainage for 3 months out of the year that it's used? That's 50% of the $750,000 grant. Yes, the concrete is $200,000. You can do a gravel lot, put the 8 trees in the approach on the driveway, because that looks terrible at this point, and put the $200,000 to $250,000 aside for the ADA. The grant is good till March 2029. So I think that is a more responsive government. This resolution for the 4th 535 wasn't on the workshop agenda. Where did you discuss this? Not in open public session. Commissioner Black had to bring it up. I guess, Mr. Gallo, that's not exactly transparency, right? Isn't that what you're running on? The winner here is the paving contractor, not Cranford residents, and clearly not the disabled or handicapped. This is why there are laws to protect disabled persons from people like you. I have 3 questions, and I would like them answered tonight, because the last meeting 2 weeks ago, you never answered any of my questions, and this is why we have a zoo, because you don't answer questions. You changed the bylaws in 2023, and you don't answer questions. So question 1. Why not do gravel so you get the drainage and save the $250K and put it towards ADA if this will be the primary pool for Cranford? The grant is good till March 2009. The gravel has nothing to do with ADA accessibility for the parking spots and the path. You can still do that. is it really worth, I know you have to have ADA parking spots, but these people won't have an ADA bathroom. So, question 2, how long will the handicapped and disabled be in porta potties? What is the 3 to 5 year plan? If you don't do ADA bathrooms now with the grant for the $750,000, then when? And isn't it a little bit, disingenuous, to say the least, to put ADA compliance in a grant and get $750,000 for it and then not use it for ADA? Really, I'm trying to control myself, but I find it disgusting. I find it vile, and the fact that you used it to get a grant and then now are not going to do it to the most vulnerable population disgusts me. Question 3, why is a paved parking lot, not a gravel lot, more necessary than one ADA bathroom that is retrofitted in the existing bathroom? That's not a bathroom, Kathleen. That is not a bathroom. Do you think people should go in porta potties and be humiliated?
No one has said that will never happen.
When is it going to happen?
The pool advisory board is working on it 3 years.
The pool advisory board, I went to those meetings, they're doing nothing. Curran is calling all the shots.
Excuse me, I'm answering your question, I think in 5 minutes, where,
I'll remove
we're
it.
doing many of the things that you complain about, and some of them rightfully so. Maintenance is sorely lacking. So we're trying to address a lot of those issues.
But that's not what this grant was for. This grant was for drainage,
And there will be drainage in the
grading, and ADA bathrooms. You use these people, Kathleen. That's the problem I have with this. You used these people to get your grant.
No, I did not.
Well,
Is there anyone else wishes to speak?
Yes, and before I get started, I speak all over the country. Oh, you already started my time. I speak all over our great nation, and I must say that I have never seen a finer example of First Amendment hating, constitutional hating communists as I have in this room right now, a bunch of you plants that Mayor Prunty had come here. So congratulations, you just won that award. Now, good evening, Mayor Karen, Kathleen, Ethel, Edna, Mavis, Eleanor Prunty, and commissioners. My name is Leroy Truth. For everyone, Channel 35, please subscribe to Leroy Truth on Facebook and YouTube. Let's start with what may be the most impressive achievement in Cranford government history. You managed, Mayor Prunty, to turn the Star-Spangled Banner into a public safety threat. Here's what happened. At the last meeting, while I was speaking during my public comment time, the mayor ordered police to stop me from playing the Star-Spangled Banner. How dare you? That's our national anthem. Because you labeled the national anthem noise. Now let me slow down for the ones in the front row here, the commission and the mayor. The national anthem, played on a musical instrument, led to police intervention in the United States of America. You invited me back because you ordered police to stop me from playing our Star-Spangled Banner during my expression. Not yours, not anyone else's here, in America. Now some towns fix potholes. Cranford declares wars on melodies. Now, clearly, we need a very educational moment here. Noise versus music. This is for you, boys and girls of the commission and the mayor. A noisemaker creates chaotic sound. Air horns, sirens, whistles. A musical instrument such as this creates structured sound, also known as music. And you even said, stop playing the music. Last meeting. And yes, the melodica is a musical instrument. It produces melody, not noise. I can't believe you don't know that. Now let's remember what I said right before I played. I said, I'm playing the Star Spangled Banner to remind you of your oath to the Constitution. And within 18 notes of me playing the Star Spangled Banner, you violated that oath in real time because instead of protecting expression, it was shut down. It was labeled noise. Police were called to stop music, not noise. And how dare you call our national anthem noise? Now this stops being funny and becomes unconstitutional. Word versus rock. Against racism, music is protected speech. So with this, because I've just educated you and you now know that this in fact is not a noisemaker, which you labeled it last time. This is a recognized musical instrument, no different than a violin, a trumpet, an accordion, a melodica. It produces melodies, thus it's called a melodica. So I will play 2 special songs as a fundamental expression of my First Amendment right, of which I was ordered to stop by you and the police last time. And the Star Spangled Banner. And please everyone rise for the Star Spangled Banner. Council as well. Thank you. Thank you. Now, that, Mayor Prunty, is called a musical instrument. And how did it change that from last time I was here, it was labeled noise and you ordered police to remove me, but today it was recognized as a musical instrument. So, Mayor Prunty, what changed in 2 weeks? Well, you shut it down last time, so congratulations, you did a great job. And the police, of course, did a great job today as well. All right, so God bless you all. God bless America. God bless Cranford. And may the communists at some point wake up to the First Amendment and support it. God bless you all.
I just want to say, veterans, you using the national anthem as a prop to your YouTube channel, your Facebook channel.
Wow.
It's a disgrace. Using it as a prop. You're not here to actually show any kind of respect.
And there the communists go. He said it was a prop.
You've been arrested in other towns. Everybody here, they go around to other towns to get arrested. Mr. Philly, who's been here for many years, trying to make a spectacle of himself, has never volunteered once for a committee or anything in town. So these people want to come here and pretend that they're here for the Constitution, that they're here for the nation. They are here for themselves. It's selfish. It's petty.
He's a liar. What a liar.
Thank you.
Freedom of speech and the Star Spangled Banner. He called the Star Spangled Banner a prop. He said it was a prop. How dare him? He said it was a prop. My 5-minute comment time. Playing the Star Spangled Banner is a waste of time? Does that waste your time, sir? Disgusting. Welcome to Cranford. We'll be back. You made us come back. He called the Star Spangled Banner a prop. How disgusting. Last time they called it noise. He just couldn't keep his mouth shut.
Okay, John, and I live on Yorkville Road in Cranford since 1986. I love Cranford. I haven't been coming to like this since really my entire life until last fall. And I'm hooked. I mean, I think it's a great place to come forth and talk about what you love about Cranford. I told you last time I raised 8 kids here in Cranford, and 4 daughters and 4 sons, and 3 of my daughters are teachers, so shout out to the teachers and great school system you have. Police, Young Park, great town. I just want to know, why does the town plant trees that destroy our sidewalks? On my street, and the woman that spoke before about getting curbs manual, was I rejoicing with her. We don't have curbs on our street, and what do you do to get it? I mean, rather than get in the middle of everything that's going on tonight with people that are here to talk about this, and the other people that talk about this, and not talk about town stuff, let's talk about town stuff. How do I get curbs on my street? How do I get my sidewalks fixed? My neighbor had a sidewalk issue because the trees that the town planted was busted up. It was definitely a concern, and the town came and they fixed it to what they thought was fixing it, but they just put a lot of blacktop and create a hill on the sidewalk. So when you walk, you got to go up and down, and that was the fixing of the sidewalk. So I would love to see, or at least try to understand what it would take to make our street look better. Also to the people, Honorable Mayor, that you mentioned.
After this guy talks, we're gonna go outside the meeting room and we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk to the police as well.
Something that happened, as you saw
So
tonight.
stay with us.
You got like, look, a ton of police here. Like, how do you not feel safe coming here when you have a ton of police that are surrounding and, you know, with the stop of your finger, they're in here and protecting us all, or so you think they're protecting us all from danger that some people perceive. I never felt unsafe. I mean, I don't even agree with a lot that goes on here, but man, do I appreciate the 5 minutes being allowed to speak. And again, I'm going to end by saying, it's awkward. I felt awkward about standing for our national anthem tonight, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can't stand, because if I stand, they're going to, it's a prop, and it's too confusing. When I hear
The national anthem is never a prop.
So, I never going to apologize for that. And I'm kind of surprised that more people didn't, because they thought it was a prop. And even if it was a prop, it's still the national anthem. Thank you.
I've never heard that before. It's insane. The national anthem is not a prop. It's a piece of music.
Water management, stormwater management, and just, you know, general clean environment and a better quality of air.
Mikey's gonna talk next. Mikey's gonna talk next. Social Justice Water Pipe, please subscribe to him.
We have to put blacktop as opposed to cutting down the tree. That's really the first step.
Am I recognized, Madam Mayor? Thank you. Yeah, the reason why I don't give my name and my address is just simply to remind everybody that we have rights. And it always amazes me how when you exercise your rights, it seems to bother other people. That's all it is. I'm very public. You know, you have my Facebook, I have my YouTube, and this is a Democratic board, right? So I'm assuming you don't support having to show ID to vote? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Curran, what is that? Was I speaking? I'm sorry, Commissioner Black, was I speaking? Yes. Oh, okay. But you've been doing plenty of speaking as well. No, well, whoa. If I could have your attention, that would at least give the optics of consideration. You don't have to care about what I'm saying, but the optics would probably be helpful, because you know how well did the optics work last time when we shut it down for the Star Spangled Banner being played, you know. But I'm assuming this, since this is a Democratic board, you don't support showing ID to vote, right? But we're going to create all these extra ideas and laws. Well, it's name and address. The reason why you can't do that is because it's unenforceable. I'm Daffy Duck from Disney. And then we looked stupid. That's when it becomes a mockery, when you do stupid things, okay? You only have a conflict when you react. That's how you have a conflict. Instead of just allowing things to happen, right? That's what you're supposed to do, is just allow it to happen. When you respond in that manner, you create the unnecessary conflict. You know, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy, you know. The one gentleman said, self-proclaimed First Amendment auditor. I don't look at myself as a First Amendment auditor. I come to council meetings, I go all over the state, and I have my YouTube channel to empower other people to speak up at meetings and take part in local government. That's the whole purpose of it. And on my channel, the videos that did the best was when elected officials and police officers did the right thing. That's what people are craving. The internet is saturated with people's rights being violated, saturated with ignorant elected officials having no consideration for members of the public. It's everywhere. If you get an elected official to apologize, people are craving for it. If you get an officer to uphold the Constitution, they're craving for it. They'll watch the hell out of it. My top 2 videos on my channel are highlighting police doing the right thing. And that's what this is all about. As some of you may know, the stuff that happened in Edison with the prop ban, you know, turned into the infamous flag ban. You know, I was going to those meetings, I was holding props and, you know, and giving performances, and they banned props and performances. I was going to Plainfield, and I danced, I did a little of that, sang, and next thing you know, the council came up, well, the law firm came up with no singing, no dancing, no silent speech, because then I just kind of stared at them. And that, shut it down, shut it down. Can't have that. You know, the Democratic machine money of New Jersey, right? The Coughlin, Raynone, and Mincello law firm was both Plainfield and both Edison, right? And then I realized that the Cooper law firm here in Cranford, very much associated with Craig Coughlin, one of the most powerful Democrats in New Jersey, who constantly creates litigation so they can get paid on the back end. When these things get litigated, they get paid on the back end. Now, if you guys created these bylaws with the 3-strike rule, you have to follow your own rules, which you didn't do last time. And this law firm here is so arrogant and so stupid that they didn't even put out a medical exemption. They didn't even carve out the bylaws for a sound system for somebody who uses it to speak. I mean, this is beyond ignorant. What if somebody came here and needed a sound system, right? Something protected by the ADA, but that's not even in the bylaws. And then when you leave an open-ended ability for you to just do whatever and just clamp down on people when they... So am I allowed to use my phone for my public comments, or we're calling that a sound system still? Because I think we need clarification on that. If I want to play minutes from one of the meetings, am I allowed to? Am I allowed to? I am. So when you said I wasn't allowed to sing, you violated my constitutional rights because that's viewpoint discrimination. You can't pick and choose. What we're asking, right? What we're asking is for you to follow the law. Content neutral viewpoint discrimination is a problem. Okay? I didn't hear it. Say it again. Okay, well, as far as I'm concerned, your guys' time is up.
Yeah.
I'm Thomas Karcher. I live on Harvard Road, and I want to thank you all for the time you give to this community, as well as all the residents on the boards and committees, and all the work they do to make this such a special place to live in. And I know how blessed I am to live here. And I just thank you for the time and all the work you do. I appreciate it.
David Pringle. For the record, I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm a lifelong resident of Cranford, graduate of Cranford Public Schools, as are my 3 kids, all of whom are driving in their 20s. Lots of reasons for that. Why? For many reasons, my wife and I bought a house here for 3,000 and we have no plans to move. Pretty modest. My parents moved here in 1955. My father, as an independent publisher, served there in the private community. In the late 60s and early 70s, the last 2 years. He was the mayor at Centennial, played a key role in Centennial Pool. Lots of controversy there late.
It's facing that way right now. Hey, hold on, everyone. I'll be right back. Look at some of the other mayors, and I wonder how many of them violated our rights. Okay, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we're going to go out and we'll do a prologue here. Okay, we'll do a prologue here. Let's see if Mike is coming. Can you go for that? Yeah. Okay. All right, and here I want to do a recap for all 3 of us here. All right, everyone here, let me get everyone on screen here. If you could turn that one for copyright purposes there. Okay, so I want to do a recap here. Now, I want to work backwards and then go. I mean, there was some really not good stuff that went on today and some that was okay. So first, I want to thank Garden State Accountability for coming all the way from South Jersey, hours away. He works full time. He's got many, many, many children, actually 3. And they're amazing. they're young children. They're amazing, and they could all literally be actors, actresses, and they're beautiful, beautiful children. And I want to thank Will Thilley because he is the person who saw things happening here that weren't right, and he was the lone person to stand up and expose those things. And I'll have him share in a minute. And what the governments do, people like the mayor and the terrible Terrence Curran, I mean, how dare him? He called the national anthem a prop. He said I used the national anthem of a prop.
As a prop.
You understand? As a prop. It's impossible. It's a song. It's a musical foundational acknowledgement of the freedom and patriotism of our country. Last week, 2 weeks ago, Mayor Kathleen Edna Ethel Prunty, oh, thank you, super chat there.
AV Design.
AV Design, thank you.
Hell
Shout
yeah.
out to the team for tonight's speeches. Thank you, AV Design. And please subscribe to AV Design. Hold on. Okay, Vinny accidentally hit a button.
Sorry, guys.
He hit a button. We're back live now. And the national anthem is not a prop. Again, it's a fundamental symbol of our country. And how he attempted to construe it as something about us. The only reason I came here again was, and I wouldn't have come back again, I came because they made this ordinance that you had to stay right at the podium, and if you leave the podium a few inches to the left or the right, do-si-do, you get arrested. And that's what I came about. And then inexplicably, the Mayor Prunty ordered the police, they were different police than here, the other police have been banished, I understand, banished to Antarctica or somewhere with the penguins, and for violating my rights. She ordered the police last time to stop me from playing the national anthem because she said it was noise. But miraculously, today, it wasn't considered noise. It was a melody. So it's a miracle. So what changed in 2 weeks? Oh, I know, because I educated her. As they're saying, oh, such a waste, our 5-minute comment time. Well, guess what? It's our 5-minute comment time. Whether a person likes it or not, it's irrelevant. I may not like their comment time. I thought the woman who was talking about trees, and I love trees. 5 minutes on trees, come on. But guess what? I totally 100% supported her complete time speaking about trees because that's what she wanted to speak about. And if I'm not interested, it's none of her business or anyone's business. And so that's something that shifted profoundly. I was not ordered to stop playing the national anthem. That changed because I educated her and she listened. Even though she was not paying, it seemed like she's not paying attention, she listened. All right, and so Mikey, let's get you in the frame here. All right, so tell us your thoughts of today's meeting.
I have a lot of thoughts. There's a lot of stuff that I kind of forgot to mention, but that's kind of every meeting anyway. Yeah, like, the thing is, like, well, when I come here, like, before I went over to get something to eat at the River House and the hibachi place over here, you know, when you come to Cranford, we patronize the town, get something to eat here, get something to eat there, so, it's kind of like you're supposed to welcome people from outside of the town until they speak out against these elected officials. The whole point, from the way I understand Mr. Thilley's, peaceful protesting with the dance party is it can't be more peaceful. It can't be more peaceful, So when they started shutting the meeting down, is when they started really making mistakes. That's what brought me out to Cranford. I realized, they're targeting their political opponent. Will here in Cranford, he ran as an independent in the last election and got 1,776 votes, which is an incredible number, birth of America, as we deal with these free speech issues. So I have a tough time looking at it in any other framework than them targeting their political opponent. And residents, members of the public should be outraged, right? Now they say you can't sing, use your phone or whatever. The first time I used the phone and I sang. And then last time the mayor was saying I can't do it. That's one example of, creating a bylaw to stop you from what you did before. All of these bylaws were created to suppress Will's speech, suppress his expression, and that's going to upset members of the public. People are going to fight back. The more they clamp down on our rights, the more vigorously the public fights back. If they tell you you can't sing, we sing even louder. It's just very upsetting, because to be honest, that whole thing got really messy real quick. One of the things that I wanted to mention that bothered me was the county commissioner, and I know you guys couldn't see this from your angle, but the county commissioner was holding hostage Will's, his soapbox, So there was all of these, things that were happening that were like, we're not going to let him do this, we're not going to let him do that you couldn't even see on the screen.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
So it's kind of like, that's the domino effect of doing the wrong thing. what they were supposed to do was just allow it happen. That's all they ever had to do. Speaker can't disrupt the meeting during his own speaking time. If these people support the First Amendment, they wouldn't say the things they did, because I found it very surprising that I've heard comments like fake First Amendment use. I've never heard of that before. That's a first. Fake use of the First Amendment. I've never heard of that. I have to really marinate on that. And so there was a lot of issues that that made it pretty ironic, considering that this is the representation from elected officials who.
Would you like to say anything about the meeting today, ladies and gentlemen? Any comments for or against?
And the problem
First
too,
Amendment.
And the problem too is, I think I did mention it. They didn't even carve out a medical exemption for somebody who has, needs like a talking device.
Right.
It's just like, just push it, can't do this, can't do that, done really sloppily. I'm glad to hear a couple of people tonight referring to the podium as a lectern. That's a positive thing. We're making some progress in terms of calling things what they are.
I will say, I don't think so. The whole room was against us. And that's strange to me, and I really think they were paid actors.
Well, they were planned. They were. I was told by sources they were told.
I'm
to
just
be
talking
there.
about the lectern.
Yeah.
Some people call it lectern.
Right.
That's as bad as much
Right.
progress as I.
So here's two positives that I want you to share, Vinny. That I want Will to share. Is that two positives where I educated Mayor Kathleen Miller Prunty on noise versus an instrument, and she did not stop me from playing today. Did not violate my rights like she did last time. Number two, some of the audience, the members of the public, even though they were hostile and they were planted, they did acknowledge that it was a lectern, not a podium. So we educated them on a very incorrect identification.
Important.
Of something they actually made a bylaw about, using the wrong word.
And the lawyer wrote it up.
Right, and the 5-year-old lawyer wrote it up.
Right.
Yeah. And if you watch the Teletubbies, he does law.
Let's say some words before I get out of here. So I had a whole speech prepared. I didn't even use it, but I was just so angry with everything that was said. It seemed like the whole room was against the First Amendment. When you have freedom of expression, it's part of your First Amendment right. And when it's your time to speak, your 5 minutes, it's my time. Let me do as I please. You saw tonight that, I mentioned that they have a rule in place where they have to give you a warning, a first warning, a second warning, and then the third time they go into a recess. Now, after the police told us that that rule exists and that they're going to abide by it, I went up there and I played some music, and she was ordering the police to come get me and my speaker. And I was like, what about your ordinance? First rule, you got your first gavel, your second gavel? Where's my gavel here? So they gave me a gavel. I let it go. They gave me the second. I stopped the music. And then I said, see how hard that was? And you had to kick Leroy out, and you didn't abide by your own rules. So, I think we're coming back at least one more time. I am at least. I think I have to, because I feel like...
We didn't talk about Will yet.
Yeah.
Because that was the most egregious situation
Yeah.
of the evening. And so...
They teamed up on him.
Yeah, so Will, tell us what your experience was. You can hold this. What your experience was and what you felt happened.
Well, we had, unlike other meetings, we actually made an Instagram video and told the public what we plan to do in advance. And that was, so we made an Instagram video letting everyone know that we plan on doing a group sing-along. We're singing for peace protest, and that we were going to be singing to the Village People's YMCA, and we were going to pass out the lyrics. So now the people in our town and our committee also see these videos. So they saw the advertisement, and they're worried they're worried about all the people who are going to come to the meeting and it looking negative for them. So what they did tonight is they invited all their friends to come to be a counterweight against our movement and our protest.
So it was 4 against like 58.
Well,
Did you see the guy flipping you off?
I did from your video you showed me. There was someone flipping me off. I don't know if you saw that.
I'm going to show him right now.
Because I was facing the other direction, so I couldn't see.
For the record, I want to say I went around and handed the lyrics out to everyone, invited them to participate, and we handed out 20. So in the beginning, when we were doing our thing, it was actually, we had a lot more people than you may know. And a lot of them their speech is chilled though. A lot of them come out to support the movement, and when they get here, they haven't been here before. Now, all the people that they brought in are local, are people that have been to a lot of the meetings before, and they're political friends. And they make it coordinated. Mhm.
That's during when I was playing the Star Spangled Banner, our national anthem. We need to identify who that person is, who that man is.
Tommy Sinowich.
Tommy what?
Tommy Sinowich.
We know who that is.
Usenowicz?
Sinowich.
Usenowicz. Okay, that's Tommy Usenowicz. And he was giving me the finger.
Flicks me off every meeting.
Was this with you as
Every
well?
meeting.
Wow. So anyone who expresses their First Amendment rights during their public comment time.
What about the corn rules?
Yeah.
I'll take it. I don't mind that.
But he could flip. I don't care. He could flip me off.
Yeah.
First Amendment right.
Yeah,
I don't care.
We support
Hey,
it.
You support it.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just so you know, guys, we really did have a sizable portion there originally for our.
Keep going.
Sure. That were there originally to support us. A lot of them then felt, I think maybe the mayor said you can't sing or people can't sing during my speaking time. And this is illegal and chilling our protest. And of course they're allowed to sing when I'm having a sing along. That's crazy.
And you did
she
last
said that.
time? Everyone did.
And they intentionally said this is illegal, right? And she told them, and a lot of people, they don't know how the police are going to react. And so they're chilling our friends who are coming out to support us. So it may appear that we were slightly outnumbered. It was more 50-50 in the room than you might have known, because I knew in advance all the people there. And so, of course, you know, and then I go up to do our protest, and they did everything to try to talk over me, interrupt me, tell me now I can't face the public when I'm speaking. That's not a bylaw. There's nothing in the world to stop. I can speak who I wish. What are you talking about? I'm a candidate for the Democratic primary here. I should be allowed to speak to my
Tell
public.
everyone that make the announcement because you just did.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm on the Democratic ticket, Democratic primary here in town.
For what office?
Well, for the office of the committee that are the people at the dais here that we see tonight.
What are they called? Commissioners here?
Committee. So Township Committee is the office, and there's 5 people on it, and there's 2 spots opening. So I'll be running against their 2 candidate choices this year. And there'll be 3 of us running on the Democratic primary. And we have a lot of independent support in town, and they're also allowed to vote for us in the primary. So in any case, back to the speech. So I was up there, and I wanted to address, you know, as much as we all know a lot of people are not mature or open-minded to respect the First Amendment. But my goal is to, help them see what's going on. Not, I'm not trying to rub it in their face or nothing. Sometimes you have to for people to, see it. But for the most part, I wanted to get up and give a statement. Hey, I hear you, but we're trying to do a good thing here. This is not about us. This is not selfish for us. We're not doing this for an ego. We do this for free, and we do this because we know it's good for everybody. And ultimately, whether we even think about it or not, deep down, we want to make everyone good people and bring us together, right? And that's why we have to fight for people to have open minds and not discriminate or be prejudiced against other ways of thinking. And that's primary. That's why we have it, right? So I did that, and then they wanted to shut down everything I was doing, and they tried to talk over me the whole time. Not only that, but the county commissioner, who was a woman, I'm friendly to her.
Was that the woman who was sitting on your piece?
She was, and I care about her, even though
I watched the whole thing going. You're being nice.
I'll be nice, and I got nothing. Like I say, I care about all people, right? Even if they haven't opened their minds yet. No fault of their own. Their life. If you're in their shoes, but in any case, not that we'll permit it. But so I kindly asked her if she mind moving. She said nice things to me, but I'll sit here. You don't need that. And hello, sir. How you doing? So, you can come in there.
You can go in that room.
You can come through if you want.
If you're going to the meeting, go right there.
No, I gotta go to the police station.
Yeah. You come through. Here, come through.
Yeah, it's okay.
If you want. Very good.
Yeah.
And so, that's a good one.
When there's a public meeting, this door can't be locked.
So,
Can't be locked.
Keep going.
yeah. So we, so she was sitting on the thing, not letting me move my,
Violation.
my soapbox that I used to stand on to talk to the crowd on purpose. And, she was blocking it. And eventually we,
Probably did us, but you can't be locked when there's a meeting.
Vendors identified that you can't have a locked door here when there's a meeting. The door is locked right. Anyway. All right.
so eventually we got started, and they didn't want me doing the sing-along until the people in the audience started the song for us.
Here, come on through.
And we weren't breaking any bylaws, and we were having a sing-along, and the audience started it up because they could see they weren't going to let me do it.
Oh, Will, can you pause
Yeah,
a minute?
sure.
What we had was a an upside down world. Last meeting, the mayor ordered the police to stop me from playing the national anthem. Today, there was no issue whatsoever. Last meeting, Will Philly led a beautiful, room-filled, joyous sing-along. This time, they shut it down. It's like upside down world. Retrograde, intrograde something.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't see that till now. Yeah, the rules.
They don't know their own.
The rules are, come on, let's let her go.
Oh, can't hear Leroy. Oh, okay, it died, Mike. My mic died. I'm going to recharge it quick. We'll use this one. Keep going, Will.
You want to use this one?
All right, I gotta get out of here, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
Take it easy. all
Okay,
right?
good to see you, Vinny.
Later, guys. Check out the vest.
And I will say
Right here.
that, he said it's just self-serving. It's okay to serve yourself. Remember that,
Anyway,
guys.
here's your mic.
It's okay to serve yourself.
Thanks so much.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up now. And you have any comments on the meeting, sir? No. You have any comments on the meeting, sir? No.
I resent your imposition. I'm a resident of the town here, and the town has to be able to conduct its business in an effective and efficient fashion.
Well, did anyone, sir, and I really appreciate you sharing, did anyone prevent the town from conducting its business today? Because all we did is speak during our sacred 5-minute time. So did anyone prevent the town from conducting the business?
And every one of you did.
How?
With your disruptions.
How?
With
You
your
can't disrupt yourself when you're speaking, sir.
support of how does the town conduct business when someone's playing YMCA through a loudspeaker?
That's during his 5-minute sacred expression. That's his time. You may not think it's important, but it was important to Mr. Thilly. So are you the arbiter? Are you the God of First Amendment to say this is what is allowed and this is not?
Truth investigations. Is that a legitimate press credential?
Of course it is.
I don't.
It's as legitimate as your.
I actually,
you're,
I actually have
reading
a
and
press
seeing here.
credential.
I'm impressed.
That does not
Who
look
issued it?
legitimate to me.
Who issued it?
Um,
Who issued your press credential?
The First Amendment is our press credential, sir.
Our town has to be able to conduct its business. They have to be able to do their work.
But who prevented them, sir?
You do.
How?
Oh, well, you played 2 songs tonight.
I played the national anthem.
That's not effective conduct of the town's business.
This is during my public
And
comment time, sir.
It's not First Amendment protected.
Really? In other words, playing music as in my personal choice of expression during my 5-minute public comment time is not protected?
Robert's Rules of Order. The Sunshine Law.
Meetings are conducted according to Robert's Rules of Order.
No, they're actually conducted according to the U.S. Constitution, sir.
The two are mutually exclusive? No, they're not.
The Constitution always supersedes anything else.
We need an orderly conduct of our meetings.
Oh, look at this press pass. Now that's a legitimate press pass if I ever saw one. Can you hold up, everyone?
Well,
that was dry cleaning only, and
my
and
pocket
you
press pass.
you put
Is
it in
this
a
legitimate press
a
vest?
dryer.
Legitimate press vest or no? It says press on it. Is it legitimate?
But sir, I appreciate you talking with us. The thing is, what you're not understanding is that everyone who talks during the 5 minutes, they have a right. I'm willing to help you to open your mind up.
in the meeting in an orderly way. If you do not, then they have the right to throw you out.
So playing the Star Spangled Banner, you call it disorderly? It's been called a prop. It's been called noise. Now you're calling it disorderly conduct?
It was disruptive and not something that advanced the business of the town.
The Star Spangled Banner was disruptive. And how? In what way was it disruptive, sir?
Diminishes the town's ability to conduct its business.
Playing the Star Spangled Banner diminishes the town's ability to conduct its business. That's a new one.
But for your 5 minutes, you're allowed,
Cherry picking.
you're allowed to not support the
I think
committee.
you're a bunch of fools.
That's fine.
Okay,
You're
and
allowed
I'm
to
going to leave
not-
you with that.
You're not,
So
you're
wh-
allowed
wh-
to not
why-
support the
why would
committee.
you not let me speak my 5 minutes?
You
Who
know,
cares
it's
what I
okay.
say?
And I want to say this to all
I
of
wanna
the
say
viewers
sorry,
on
please,
Leroy's
yeah,
channel. They made it sound like it's a negative thing to serve yourself, right? Just in a general sense, serving yourself is not a negative thing. The best relationship you'll ever be in your life is the one with yourself. It's okay to serve yourself. It's
He's
not a
gonna
bad
flip you
thing.
up again.
What did he do? Did
He went like this and I'm through.
Oh my God.
Motherfucker.
But yeah, don't let people put things in a negative context that don't belong.
No. And I'm glad that man spoke with us, but he's like really mistaken. Like so many people here are mistaken. They think because they don't value what we are choosing during our sacred 5-minute public comment time, because they don't think it's important, that it should be illegal, and they're saying it's disruptive. right? And they don't understand the Constitution. So as I've said, and I'm going to post this on Cranford Neighbors, the Facebook post, and I've never seen more communists anywhere other than here, except there, Cranford Neighbors Facebook page. my Facebook comments my Facebook posts get deleted. So many people, they say, we're disrupting the meetings. We are speaking and expressing and playing music in our sacred 5-minute comment time. It's really simple. It's fundamental. And how can you tell if a country is truly free? By the ability to stress test those guaranteed freedoms. That's the bottom line. And if you stress test those freedoms and they end up ordering police to shut you down when you're doing something that's 100% protected by the Constitution, they don't let us, Mikey, they don't let us speak. We are guaranteed from the First Amendment the right to speak, and to speak how we choose, to say what we want, and to choose the expressive tool or vehicle, whether it be music, dance, silence, mime, maybe mime next time.
Did he say you don't have the? I don't know what he said. I'm like confused, but you're allowed to you don't have to support what the committee's doing. You don't have to support their ideas, their ambitions. He made it sound like you don't have the right to express yourself if it's not for orderly conduct of business or something.
Right.
Like that.
If it doesn't have to do with a road or a drain, a sewage drain, if it doesn't have to do with sewage drain or something, that he says you're not allowed and it's disruptive. And if it's disruptive, means that police can arrest us.
And the one resident, he said that he thinks that we should be writing our names down, giving our address, this and that. I think that's silly. And if this is the Democratic board, I know they don't support ID for voting. So why would they then start creating all these, give your name, give your address to speak at a meeting? It doesn't even make any sense. Why would they?
Right, that doesn't make any sense. If they're saying, no, you should not give your ID to vote, so basically anyone can vote for anyone else.
Why would we give our name and address at a meeting to speak?
Right, especially, who was it? Vinny, Garden State Accountability, he had a concern, say if someone doesn't like what he says, which a lot of people didn't like what he said and what we said and how we expressed ourselves today, what if they go to his home with his young children?
Retaliation. It's one of the reasons why I like coming to towns that I don't live in, because a lot of the residents in towns, there's a lot of stuff that they want to say, but they don't want to get involved. They don't want to deal with retaliation. They don't want to deal with the backlash. And when you come into a town and you speak, you get a lot of people who will fill you in on a lot of stuff that's going on. And it's kind of like, you can't touch me in your town. My police know me. My elected officials know me. They can't retaliate against me here because you can't have code enforcement come over and ticket me for my grass because my grass is not in this town. Right. It's okay. It's okay to go to meetings. It's okay to publicly participate in local government. It's not a big, you know what I mean? I don't get it.
Well, one of the big things was we were interlopers. We're out-of-towners. How dare you? Did they in Cranford, Mikey, secede from the United States of America? I thought there was a civil war to bring the country back together.
And it's disrespectful to, well, I know why they're saying it's a safety thing. I get it, because once you can't shut down speech, you turn it into a safety thing. But that's basically disrespectful to the police here, who can keep the residents safe at a meeting. So they don't realize that in the same hand. It's kind of disrespectful to law enforcement to say that.
And the thing is, no one was a threat here. Well, not with any of us. They just make the stuff up, and that we have all these police officers here. For what? To violate our rights. Now, they did not tonight, so I want to acknowledge that. They did not. Well, actually, the one sergeant, he did with Will Thilly. And in fact, it wasn't even Will Thilly, it was with the woman who chose to dance. She was so infused with effusive joy at YMCA that she chose to dance. And she was told she has to stop talking. She can't talk during his public comment time. Will Thilly was leading the sing-along. So the sergeant, you and I talked earlier. You made a mistake today. And please call me, 201-953-9984. Let's talk. And as long as you learn from this, we've done some good. But you violated that woman's rights. And she had a right to dance and move around. She wasn't a threat. She wasn't disrupting anybody. It was a sing-along, for God's sakes. It was YMCA. You can't sit in your seat. That's illegal. That's against some bylaw, probably.
All they had to do was just let the 5 minutes go, and that's it.
Right.
It's that simple.
So it turned into a circus a number of times, not because of anything that we did. It's because they tried to shut down free speech. And Curran, what he said, Curran, Thomas Curran, the commissioner, when he said that, he was upset because I used the Star Spangled Banner as a prop. I mean, that's coming out of like La La Land there. That's literally insanity. I'm concerned for his mental health. Star Spangled Banner is the Star Spangled Banner. And if he thinks it's a disruption and an interruption and a prop at a public town meeting in Cranford, New Jersey, which happens to be in the United States, he needs to be out of office. And he needs to get a free one-way ticket to Iran, Iraq, Russia, Communist China, anywhere but America. So I appreciate everyone staying with us. For some reason, the entire stream went black. Thank you to Aria, who let Vinny know because I wasn't looking at my phone. And all I did is just got out of the app and came back in, and it was working fine.
Yeah, a couple people jumped over from your channel, and they showed up on my channel saying Leroy's thing was cutting out. But then I noticed you'd already noticed that it was.
Right. Well, I got it like 4 minutes later. I wasn't paying attention to my phone. So thank you to Guard State Accountability for that as well, and for Aria. Please subscribe to Aria, AV Designs. He's my video editor. He's amazing, incredible. So God bless each and every one of you. You are patriots. And I thank you so much for the super chats, everyone. And I don't know how to find all of them here. If I push this button here, it should bring them all down, and it doesn't. But I really appreciate super chats. I know AV Designs gave one. Thank you. And Cliff, hello. Cammie, Frank Pants, you're awesome. Jack of Jack, Susan Rice, Patricia Walden, Ion Margate, East Carbon Exposed, Arthur Claremont, David Diblins, Jonathan Mazzilli, and you're extraordinary. So I really appreciate you joining me. Stay tuned for much more, and Aria will be releasing a shortened version of the highlights of this meeting in the next few days. And stay tuned for, this is crazy. Last thing. One of my best friends is North Bergen Police Captain George Raposo. While he was on duty, and he's on street crime, so he's in plain clothes and he has an unmarked police car, he was stopped while on duty in his police car by a Union City police officer named Timothy Middlebrooks, who, once he found out who he was, made some calls, allegedly to the chief of police and possibly allegedly to the mayor, and said, we got Captain Raposo stopped. Let's violate him. And they gave him 2 tickets, and the whole thing was retaliation, allegedly, because Captain Raposo is my friend, and Mayor Brian Stack is trying to stop me at all costs. So stay tuned for much more, and also please go to my Facebook page now. If you haven't been there, go follow it. I've had to reboot it 7 times. It has been deleted or suspended a total of 7 times over the last year. Just rebuilding again. I am exposing this huge S-Predator ring in Union City, New Jersey. I have over 40 names of teachers and administrators who allegedly assaulted Union City students over 25 years. And I've been exposing this story hugely. The mainstream media won't pick it up. We're talking Jeffrey Epstein level allegations here. Roman Catholic Church altar boy allegations here, which I'm a survivor, having been abused by a Catholic priest for 4 years while I was an altar boy, starting at age 7. And it's being covered up so much by Mayor Senator Brian Stack, the Board of Education, Superintendent Sylvia Abato, and so much more. So please go to my Facebook page. There is so much information about all these allegations. So God bless you all. Thanks for the super chats, everyone. Make sure to subscribe to AV Designs. The exposure report, David Snow, he couldn't be here, but he will next time, ideally. Guard State Accountability, who drove hours to be here. Mikey, Social Justice Water Pipe as well. God bless you all. We'll see you next time. Oh, thank you, Jack of Jack. Send your videos to Leroy Truth 24/7. You got other videos throughout the country. Send them to me. I will check them out and possibly do a cover story. So God bless you all.